see things completely different?
Yeah, it can be, but I don't know if it's that conducive to actually getting things done. You know, it can be a new way of experiencing things, experiencing music and experiencing love and life, but it's not really that good for getting things written so much. You don't really want to write, I find. Taking lots of drugs, you don't really want to get sort of knuckled down, and then when you do it out of a kind of a desperation, and it's always on the same sort of theme, you know, really bad handwriting and blood all over the page and just an air of morbid, like, fucking resonance.
Poisons and intoxicants have been used by poets and artists like forever.
Poisons and intoxicants.
Yeah, well, basically, I think there's an essential difference between drug use and drug abuse, you know. And obviously, if you take something that's going to alter your perception, your output is going to be altered because your perception's altered. But it's a very fine line between that and ruining your life, you know.
Yeah, you just have to try and ride it as best you can, you know.
Ride the snake.
But I will say it's the poisoned. It's the poisoned oyster that gives you the pearl.
I'd do that.
Well, it is.
Beautiful, man.
Just a title. Shut nation.
So, jack up, kids. I mean,
so what does the title Shut Us Nation refer to? What does it mean?
it doesn't. It's not a spot of consumption. It doesn't mean anything at all. It's just got a nice ring to it. It was written on Paul Rowe's wall. Professor wrote, alas.
I thought he's got a cold at the moment.
I see.
That's it. That's it.
I just wondered, thinking of the title, Shut Us Nation, of course, down in Albion, meaning, of course, an ancient concept, an idealistic concept, perhaps, of England, always refers to the nation, perhaps to society. Is songwriting for you just something you make out with yourself, or is it like a struggle with society? There's certain rules in society, perhaps, for you?
We've always kind of outside society. We haven't been able to afford to indulge ourselves really with conventional ways of, you know, going about the day.
It's what it's satisfied with, isn't it? It's
rituals. Like, we haven't had any part in society, you know, at all. We've got our own. You know, fortunately, it's a world separate from that. What? It's a dreamlike state.
No, it's like what if you're satisfied. It's like I've got lots of brothers and sisters, and they live up north in England, and they're satisfied working in factories or whatever, you know, and that does them. But each individual, you got to strive for what you need within yourself, and I can't go and work in a factory. I'd rather blow my head off, you know what I mean? But it's just as is music, and that's it for me.
I know, it's strange, isn't it? Because like before any of us were doing well in a band, like we were still the same people, you know. Yeah. And it was considered being vaguely marginalised from traditional values of getting a job and settling down and getting a mortgage and having 2.4 kids and all that kind of stuff. That's kind of frowned upon, you know. But then when you start selling records, you know, you find all these people that were trying to give you advice and saying, quit this music bollocks, you're 24, you need to get a trade. They're slapping you on the back saying, I always knew you were going to make it.
Yeah,
you know?
So there's two different kinds of musician as well. It's like, a lot of my mates in Camden, they're like, well, you know, you're getting on a bit, you know, you've got to sort yourself out. What are you going to do? You know, this music lark's never going to work. And it's like, well, and it's like, well, this guy is going, I'm 30 soon. I'm going to pack the music lark in and start teaching. It's like you either do it or you don't. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you sell lots of records or not. If you're satisfied with what you're doing, it's like Johnny Rotten says, find your own thing. You know, it's like as long as you're satisfied within yourself, that's it.
Doesn't matter if you're living in a fucking squat eating cold baked beans out of a tin that you've opened with a penknife, or you sat in a expensive hotel waiting to play the MTV Music Awards. You know, if you're being yourself, then you can sleep at night.
I always thought I was going to be a tramp when I was a kid.
I can sleep at night.
You look very tired, right?
Yeah, when I was a kid, I used to look for places on the bridges and think, oh, that looks all right.
It's a freedom, yeah. It's that freedom thing. I think musicians, like innately, they want to be free to do everything.
Yeah.
So, last question, I think it has to be. I regret it very much. Just going back to the immense pressure you had, just normally the lead singer is exposed, of course, a bit, but Peter, you're exposed in a very, very special way. You're in the tabloids, even in Germany. We have many things, really, yes. And how does this feel for the band?
It's all lies.
For the members?
All lies.
Just ignore it, really. You just let it wash over you.
Bollocks.
Alright, it really affects me.
Sometimes it affects. I was saying in another interview, it perpetuates because then the police become involved, you know, and people's liberty is at stake because of these, you know, tabloid people, and it does make a difference to Peter's life more than any other, you know, with the rest of us, obviously. And I hate it. I hate seeing him get arrested just because people know who he is, you know. Any other person on the street don't get arrested every day just because the police know their face, you know what I mean? It's tabloids got a lot to answer for sometimes.
It makes us feel protective, you know what I mean? It makes us, when one of your mates is having a hard time or is being hounded, it makes you piss boil, you know what I mean? It makes you angry. But I mean, like Adam said first, it'd be nice to just not let it affect you. And obviously, we don't get it on the chin as much as Peter does, but it's horrible, and I wish it would stop.
Yeah, especially if you've got a cold sore and they're snapping away, you know what I mean? I don't mind so much, I'm looking alright, but...
You're just working out on the train from Scotland.
Yeah, it's
I
weird.
was swinging like McGuigan at Euston, I swear.
Swinging like McGuigan.
I was.
They can pick and choose the photos they take.
You'd gone. You'd got off the train and gone home and left me sleeping on the train.
What happened?
We come out at Euston, there was all paparazzi there. I just started kicking them like the arse and fly kicking them and that.
Hey, what was this?
And we got back from Glasgow.
Really?
We've had our own back on the paparazzi a few times, though. It's like, especially the Italian ones, they had it.
There's a few bin bags at the bottom of the Thames, I can tell you.
Is it perhaps a mistake then to expose so much of your private life in your lyrics?
Oh.
It's not these lyrics that they give a fuck about, mate. Do you know what I mean? That's the... None of
Yeah, I
them
do expose some of my private life in the lyrics, but you know, there's a lot of things I don't say. Yeah.
Thank God.
Pleasure.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you, mate.